There is a list known as the 7 greatest wonders in human history. But the bizarre thing is, only one remains in existence today. As for the other 6, some are submerged at the bottom of the sea, some were dismantled into stones by people to build houses, and there is one that no one can even prove ever actually existed. Today, we will take a look at the other 6 of the 7 wonders of the ancient world and find out how they mysteriously disappeared. The first vanished wonder is the Colossus of Rhodes. It was once one of the most breathtaking structures in ancient Greece. In 305 BC, Rhodes was besieged by enemy forces. The enemy even built a super siege tower dozens of meters high, trying to breach the city walls by force. But to everyone's surprise, the inhabitants of Rhodes stubbornly held out for an entire year, finally forcing the enemy to retreat. After the war ended, they did not destroy those weapons. Instead, they sold all the equipment and decided to construct a colossal statue symbolizing their victory. Initially, this statue was only planned to be 18 meters tall. But as the project progressed, people's ambitions grew larger and larger, ultimately doubling it to 33 meters. After a full 12 years, a gleaming golden statue of the sun god, Helios, finally appeared at the harbor. When the sunlight struck its bronze surface, even the distant sea would be illuminated brightly. However, it only existed for 56 years. In 226 BC, a massive earthquake suddenly struck Rhodes. The internal iron structure of the Colossus snapped instantly, and that once mighty sun god broke directly at the knees, crashing violently to the ground. Nearby houses were crushed, and the harbor fell into chaos. But what was even stranger is, after the statue collapsed, no one dared to repair it, because many believed that it was a punishment sent by the gods. Thus, that broken colossus lay by the seashore for a full 800 years, until 653 AD, when Arab forces occupied the area. The ruler ordered all the bronze remains to be chopped into pieces and sold. It is said that merely transporting these fragments required 900 camels. The second vanished wonder is the Lighthouse of Alexandria. It was located on the island of Pharos in Egypt and stood over 120 meters tall, which is equivalent to a 40-story building today. But the most staggering part is, it was built more than 2,000 years ago. At that time, there was no electricity, no steel, and no modern machinery. Yet, the ancient Egyptians managed to construct a superstructure capable of illuminating the entire sea. By day, thick smoke would rise from the top of the lighthouse, and by night, a massive fire would be lit. They then used giant bronze mirrors to reflect the light, casting the beam onto the sea surface dozens of kilometers away. For ancient sailors, it was practically equivalent to a lifeline at sea. As long as they saw the light, it meant they were not far from the port. To keep the lighthouse running, workers had to bring a massive amount of wood to the top every day. They specially built a spiral ramp inside, allowing donkeys to continuously transport fuel upward. The entire lighthouse was like an ancient machine that never stopped. But no matter how great the building, it could not withstand time. In 796 AD, a massive earthquake directly destroyed the top of the lighthouse, completely ruining the illumination system. From then on, although it still stood tall, it had already lost its soul. It is said that a Byzantine emperor once sent spies to spread a rumor that the treasure of Alexander the Great was hidden beneath the lighthouse. The local ruler believed it to be true and actually ordered the tower to be dismantled to search for treasure. By the time he realized he had been tricked, the structure had already sustained severe damage. It wasn't until 1994 that archaeologists discovered on the seabed a large number of giant stone columns and statue remains. It turns out that this wonder, which illuminated the world for 1,500 years, had long since sunk to the bottom of the sea. The third vanished wonder is the Hanging Gardens. It is also the most mysterious existence among the 7 wonders, because to this day, no one can prove with 100% certainty that it ever actually existed. According to legend, the king of ancient Babylon built a suspended forest in the middle of the desert to comfort his homesick queen. The entire garden was stacked upward layer by layer, with trees, flowers, and waterfalls all built high in the air. From a distance, it looked like a green mountain range floating in the sky. What was truly mind-boggling was its irrigation system. Since Babylon was located in a hot and arid region, this means that every day a massive amount of river water had to be delivered to the top level, dozens of meters high. Thus, ancient engineers designed an extremely complex water lifting system. Through giant water wheels and pipes, they kept the river water continuously circulating. In other words, humans more than 2,000 years ago had already created a three-dimensional ecosystem in the desert. But here lies the problem. Such a monumental feat of engineering has almost no clear records in local Babylonian historical documents. Most accounts of the Hanging Gardens by later generations came from Greek writers. What's even stranger is that modern archaeologists have still not found any ruins that can prove its existence with 100% certainty. And if it really did exist, then its disappearance was also absolute. Because a large number of Babylonian buildings used mud bricks, once left without maintenance, they would quickly turn back into soil amidst the wind-blown sand and floods. Thus, this legendary paradise ultimately left behind not even a single intact wall. It was as if it had been directly erased from history. The fourth vanished wonder is the Temple of Artemis. It was once the most magnificent building in ancient Greece. 127 giant marble columns held up the entire temple, which was packed inside with golden sculptures and works of art. It was not only a religious center, but even functioned as an ancient bank. Many wealthy people would deposit their riches directly inside the temple, since no one dared to steal on sacred ground. But on a night in 356 BC, a man named Herostratus, in order to make the whole world remember his name, secretly sneaked into the temple and set it on fire. In just a few short hours, the blaze consumed this great building that had taken decades to construct. The intense heat caused the marble to crack and burst, and the roof collapsed violently. The entire temple was completely reduced to ruins. Later, the local government, determined not to let the perpetrator achieve fame, decreed a nationwide ban on mentioning his name. As it turned out, no one expected that precisely because of this ban, Herostratus was instead remembered by history forever, becoming a synonym for doing anything to gain fame. Although the temple was later rebuilt, but with the decline of the Roman Empire, it was ultimately abandoned. The once resplendent wonder finally left behind only a single, lonely stone column standing in the middle of a swamp. The fifth vanished wonder is the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Its name later directly became the very origin of the word mausoleum. This structure stood 45 meters high, topped with a sculpture of a four-horse chariot. The entire mausoleum integrated the very peak of Greek sculptural art. Its pristine white marble seemed to glow in the sunlight. When people of that era saw it for the first time, they felt it looked less like a tomb and more like a temple. But no matter how magnificent the building, it ultimately could not withstand natural disasters. Multiple powerful earthquakes in the 10th century directly caused the main structure to collapse. Later, crusader knights arrived here and immediately took a liking to these ready-made building stones. So they began to frantically dismantle the ruins to transport them away to reinforce their own castles. There were even rumors that the knights discovered a secret chamber underground. Inside it lay a resplendent stone sarcophagus. But when they returned the next day, the tomb chamber had already been plundered completely by grave robbers. The sixth vanished wonder is the statue of Zeus at Olympia. It stood 15 meters tall, crafted from gold and ivory. Zeus sat enthroned upon a massive structure, wearing a golden crown and holding a scepter in his hand. Just a single glance would strike a person with a sense of near suffocating oppression. Ancient people even said that if Zeus were to stand up, the roof of the entire temple would be pierced straight through. To prevent the ivory from drying and cracking, priests would apply olive oil to the statue every single day. In front of the statue, a pool was specially constructed to reflect light, making the entire statue look as though it were glowing. Many who entered the temple would even drop to their knees on the spot. But as eras changed, in 475 AD, a terrifying fire consumed the entire palace. The wooden framework burned instantly, the gold melted, and the ivory turned to ash. That very statue, once revered by countless people as the absolute embodiment of a god, vanished just like that into the flames. Up to this point, 6 of the 7 wonders of the ancient world have completely disappeared. Some were destroyed by earthquakes, some were destroyed by war, some were destroyed by greed, and others were ruined purely by humanity's ridiculous vanity.